Can you hear me? Yeah. By the way, that's the only photo that I have. So if you can take cool photos of me, I can use them later. So, as Hande mentioned, my presentation is about creating sustainable and easy to collaborate design files with Sketch. And we plugged in, and I'm going to play the presentation. Yeah. So this presentation is for beginners who like to know about Sketch, but of course I'm not going to show you how to create simple shapes or buttons. I'm going to focus on the key features of Sketch. So at the first stage, I'm going to explain those features and how they work, and I'm going to mention about few plugins. And at the second stage, I'm going to make a very quick demo. So my name is MEHMET ARIKAN again, and I work at Hürriyet as a product designer. And as a team, we work on the digital products of Hürriyet. So before getting started, let's define the problem first. The problem is when a designer has multiple projects and tight deadlines to deliver them, it's actually too hard. It's almost impossible. And if you decide to do all by yourself, you are going to drink a lot of coffee, I think, and you are going to sleep less. So the only solution is working as a team, the collaboration. And to working collectively, you have to name your folders accurately in an order. You have to create a structure that follows the same patterns and the same rules. And you have to provide everything, every info, and every element to your teammates. And to do that, Sketch is actually here to help us. It makes things really easier. It is a vector-based program, and it has special features for user interface and interaction designers, which makes things easier for us. So it really works faster when we compare with Photoshop. It is specially built for Apple computers, and you are going to have smaller design files because it's vector-based. For example, just for a small shape, Photoshop gives you a 40 kilobyte design file, and Sketch gives you 25. And this gap will increase when you import more photos and when you create larger artboards. And it is open for developers, which means everyone can create a plugin for Sketch. And it is really one of the main important things about Sketch. So the first feature I'm going to talk about is symbols. Symbols are defined user interface elements by you, and it makes it easier to reuse them and maintain them. And for example, you can create a button, and you can define it as a symbol, and you are going to be able to reuse it again really faster, and you are going to be able to maintain it from one source. And I'm going to show how it works. So besides creating very small things like buttons, inputs, and drop-downs, you can create larger things like form fields. You can define your header as a symbol, you can design your footer as a symbol, and you are going to reuse it again, and when you or your customer decides to change anything, it is going to be a lot easier to maintain it. And the next thing that I'm going to talk about is styles. Styles actually works the same way as symbols. You are going to define a style, and you are going to be able to apply it and update it easily from one source. And the next thing is a plugin named Style Inventory. After you define your colors, your symbols, your font styles, when it's time to create a style guide for your developers or designers, Style Inventory helps you. And all you got to do is clicking on the Generate button, and your style guide ready in less than a minute. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about is Sketch Measure. Sketch Measure is also another plugin, and when you complete your designs, and when it's time to show all the math behind it, all the spacing, all the sizes, all the paddings, this plugin helps you to do it very easily. So it is time for my quick demo, and I know it's kind of risky, but I practiced a lot. So let's see how those features work in Sketch. And let me open my mouse here. And I'm going to turn my Bluetooth on. Come on. Yeah, that was the risky part, actually. So okay, let's use it by this. So I'm going to create a button here, and I'm going to just defining a width here, and I'm going to define a height, and I'm going to add a label for it. Let's say button, and let's place it here. So to define something as a symbol, all you got to do is choosing the layers and creating this create symbol button here. So when I click it, it actually allows me to name it. So as I said, naming your folders, your layers, your symbols accurately is really important. So let's name this as button. And besides adding smaller elements like buttons, as I said, you can create larger things as symbols. So let's create a form together. And yeah, so let's change the height. Let's set a border, and let's add a label here. I'm going to name this as label 1. I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to define this input as symbol also. And I'm giving a name to it. And let's define those guys as a symbol also. And let's name this form. So the ease of defining symbols are, we are now going to be able to reuse those elements very quickly and place them in our files like this. And when you or your customer decides to change anything, it is really easy to maintain them from one source, as I said. So let's change the styles of those labels. I'm going to just click on this, and let's change the color, and let's change the thickness. So when you go back, all of your inputs and all of your forms are going to change instantly. They call this nested symbols. You can create symbols in other symbols. So once you change anything, it is going to be applied. So let's see how styles works. I'm going to type something, and there are also other cool plugins that lets you generate content. One of them is Craft. You can also use content generator sketch plugin, and I'm going to use it right now for a dummy text, and let's generate something here. So let's define this guy as a symbol, as a style. I'm going to name this as header 1. And let's see what happens when I decide to apply something. And let's change the size of this. Let's change the color of this. And let's apply our style here, our header 1. So once we apply this, it is going to apply your size, your color, your font weight, whatever you defined for your style is going to be applied to this file automatically. And if you decide to change anything on your header 1, for example, let's say it's color, all you got to do is changing the color and clicking this update button here. And all your header 1s are going to be updated instantly, which is helpful for update and maintain things really fastly. So I'm going to show how those plugins work by using Sketch's free templates that they provided for us. No, I don't like to save them. So let's use those templates. I'm going to use iOS UI design template here. Oh, come on. Open it anyway. So there are styles and symbols that are already defined for us. And I'm going to use Style Inventor plugin really fastly. And Oops, I'm having problems by using this trackpad. And when I click Generate button here, it is going to ask me which elements and what things that I would like to add to my style guide. I'm not going to choose symbols because they are already predefined by me. And actually, Style Inventory plugin helps me to create style guides in a minute. My colors are here, and styles that I created are here also. So my style guide is ready. And let's use how this sketch measure works. I'm going to pick a symbol that already defined before, and I'm going to use page 1. And I'm going to choose a cell here. I'm going to place it really quickly. And I'm going to pick the label. I'm going to sketch measure. And let's say we would like to show the spacing of this label within the box. So when you click it, it lets you to help the resolutions, and your measures are ready here. It is going to create a folder on top of everything, and you are going to be able to share all those info with your teammates very easily. So let's go back to our presentation. And that was the demo part, actually. I have a few more things left to say. One of is Zeppelin. Zeppelin is an application that has special plugin for Sketch. So when your design phase is completed and when it's time to deliver your projects, your designs for the development phase, Zeppelin makes it really easier. All you got to do is choosing the files and clicking on the sync button. Once you do this, your developer teammates are going to be able to click on any element, and they are going to be able to see the spacing and the sizes and the colors, whatever they choose. And you can download the sketch from sketchup.com, or you can start with 1-month trial of it, and it is also available on appstar.com. So you can follow Sketchup from Medium for their updates. They share lots of new features and how to use it. There's also Sketchup Resources for UI kits, icons, and mockups. And you can download more plugins by using Sketch Toolbox. So thank you for listening to me and coming here. You can reach me by my Twitter or using my Gmail. So thank you again, and see you.